Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. A truly disgusting, terrible, abysmal performance by those in red. Hey guys, back to Shadow. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around the instant match reaction to Liverpool's horrific performance at the Etihad tonight. When it rains, it pours in the city of Manchester, and for Liverpool, it was just a dreadful performance. Yes, the City were, and we can't get away from this because we have to talk about it, of course, and it's an element of this story. City were helped out a little by the referee, in my opinion, as we will get into, but overall, it's not the be-all and end-all as to why Liverpool lost. I just want to get that out of the way and out there right from the start. Liverpool's loss tonight was not solely based on the referee performance. I think it helped. I think the game could have changed. But overall, Liverpool were dreadful. City were awesome. And Jeremy Doku in particular stole the show. We're going to be talking all about this game. We're going to be talking about the performance, the result, and everything else that in between. But before we go any further discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Using the views that comment section, people, talk to me on what you thought about the performance, the result, and everything else in between. I'm sure what you have to say and wait for great interest in reading. So please do get involved. And without further ado, we'll get on with the video. We're going to be talking about the match reaction to Liverpool's humiliating and embarrassing 3-0 loss away at Manchester City. Look, this was a game in which, after the week that Liverpool have had, we were coming into it with a bit more confidence, a bit more optimism about what could potentially be. We saw Arsenal as well drop points yesterday. The opportunity was there to close the gap, and Liverpool failed. Liverpool flopped horribly. We didn't put up any sort of fight. It was a completely different performance from the one that we saw at Real Madrid. A proper Jekyll and Hyde performance from Liverpool if you were to compare the two sides. And it's the same side. It was the same side that started on Tuesday night. Obviously, in comparison to the one that started tonight, it was the same exact side. But the difference is that the pressing wasn't there, the hunger wasn't there, the desire wasn't there. Partially down to how good City were at beating the press, but there was no real press there to beat. City had it very, very easy. City, it was genuinely like men versus boys out there. It was genuinely easy at times for City to beat the press, and they were rightfully the winners of the game. Rightfully got the 3 points. Liverpool were absolutely awful. It was just awful. It was painful to watch. It was absolutely painful to watch. I'm so used to games dragging when Liverpool are winning. I'm not used to games dragging when Liverpool are losing, but that game dragged horribly. It was just painful to watch. Liverpool barely laid a glove on City. Liverpool couldn't pass from A to B. The basics again were not being done. There was no press, no fight, no desire to even attempt to get back into the game. It was just awful. Now, before we get into more about the performance, I want to talk about the controversy. I want to talk about the referees, because this really did irritate me a lot throughout the entirety of the game. I thought the refereeing was poor. I felt like the referee, even in the minor things, was giving Man City pretty much everything. And again, I'm not trying to be salty. I'm not trying to point the blame at everybody else but ourselves. But it is an element of the story that does need to be addressed. Both things can be right at the same time. The referees can be useless, and also Liverpool can be absolutely shambolic. Both of those things can be true, and both of those things can and will be addressed. The penalty. We'll start with the penalty. Not a penalty in my opinion. Yeah, he does make contact. But are we now just saying that every moment of contact in the penalty area is a foul? Because if we are saying that, then we are going to be seeing a lot more penalties that are going to be given at every single opportunity. He does, the goalkeeper, Mamardashvili, does catch Jeremy Doku slightly with his knee, with his foot being planted basically into his knee. It is one of the softest penalties you will ever see. It's one of the softest penalties you will ever see. If that's given on the pitch, I can understand why VAR wouldn't overturn it. But it wasn't given on the pitch. It was given by VAR. Explain, clear and obvious to me, please. I am begging you. Someone explain clear and obvious to me. Because clear and obvious is this stupid grey area that I've had so much of a problem with. And I hate it so much. Because referees hide behind it as, well, it's not technically in the rules, or it is in the rules, but I've decided that it's not clear and obvious, so the referee shouldn't give it, or the referee should give it. It's such a stupid rule. Remember a few weeks ago when Arsenal took on Newcastle, and the referee awarded a penalty to Arsenal from a foul from Nick Pope on Victor Gyökeres, I believe. Referee gave it, VAR told him to overturn it. It's the same thing, except this time round, it was not given on the pitch, but given by VAR. What is clear and obvious? Someone explain that one to me. It's so freaking dumb. It's so dumb, it's unbelievable. But then, that wasn't even the worst decision. The worst decision was to cancel out the possible equaliser scored by Virgil van Dijk. Quality ball in from Mo from a corner, and Van Dijk with a beautiful header. Beautiful header. 1-1. Donnarumma in the City goal. Absolutely no chance of getting there. He dives for it. He's at full stretch. He dives. He sees the ball all the way from Virgil's head right the way through to being in the back of his own net. And the referee and the linesman give it as offside because Andy Robertson is stood in an offside position. Now, yes, he is stood in an offside position, but is he making a direct attempt to influence the ball or the goal or the goalkeeper? No. But they claim he is. He's not directly stood in front of the goalkeeper. If anything, there's a Man City player that is stood in front of the goalkeeper. But of course, that's the City player. There is no attempt from Robertson to influence the ball. He's not stood in the goalkeeper's line of sight. He doesn't even know he's there until he looks up and goes, Robertson was there. The Donnarumma doesn't know Robertson's there until he gets up, sees him there and goes, I'm hoping that he's offside and that they give it. It was a truly horrendous decision yet again. And it's going to be one that gets swept under the carpet. Usually it gets swept under the carpet if the team that has that go against them goes on to win. But because we lost so humiliatingly and embarrassingly, it probably will get swept under the carpet anyway because everyone will turn around and go, well, it was a shocking decision, but you know what? You weren't going to win anyway because you lost 3-0 and you were poor throughout the game. That's what Gary Neville tried to do, by the way, later on. He tried talking about it as if, like, again, both things can't be right and both things can't be addressed. The fact of the matter is that at 1-1, the game might have changed. Liverpool might have actually decided to get a bit of confidence in themselves and actually start passing the ball around. We don't know. We never now will know. But honestly, the referee was absolutely awful. And there was another one in the second half. Not anything stupidly horrendous like that. But again, Gvardiol, poor challenge on Dominic Szoboszlai, not even a yellow card. I don't get these referees. And what makes the goal one even worse is the fact that a year ago, Man City, conveniently again, scored a very similar type of goal with Bernardo Silva offside. Where was Bernardo Silva? More directly in front of the opposition goalkeeper than what Andy Robertson was. The goal was allowed to stand in that game. And in this one, where the ball goes over a ducking Andy Robertson, even though Donnarumma is in a position where he can see the ball throughout. It's not like the ball gets obstructed by Andy Robertson in any way. He can see where the ball is going. They decide to rule it out. I genuinely couldn't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe it. It's one of the most stupidest decisions I've ever seen, but referees again will get away with it because Liverpool were poor, and that's going to be the story. It's not going to be the story of controversy. It's not going to be the story of referees being completely useless and incompetent yet again. It's going to be a story of Liverpool being useless. And again, just for those that are hard of hearing, both things can be right and can be addressed at the same time. Right, rant over about referees. We couldn't do the basics. We couldn't pass from A to B. Second half, we were slightly better, but let's face it, the first half performance, the bar wasn't exactly set too high. We didn't even look like we wanted to get back into the game. Like, just before half-time, Nico Gonzalez strike deflects off Virgil van Dijk into the back of the net. Just add insult to injury, rub salt into the wound of Liverpool still being frustrated over that equalising goal being disallowed. And then in the second half, Jeremy Doku, who had an unbelievable game, to be fair to him. He was unbelievable on the day. Of course, I don't rate Jeremy Doku, never have, so this isn't a salty thing, this is a consistent thing. I've never rated him. I've always found him to be a player that has one really good game in 10. Well, this was seemingly his one good game in 10. He was unbelievable, and he kills the game off with a stupidly great goal. Stupidly great, just inside off that left wing, beautiful curling effort right into the corner, and Liverpool were dead and buried. Didn't even attempt to. Dominic Szoboszlai was probably our only one that actually tried to do something. I think he had our only shot on target, a pile driver from about 30 yards out or whatever it was, and stung the palms of Gigi Donnarumma. But otherwise, nothing. I think we had the same amount of shots on goal as we did offsides. That's how poor we were. That is how shockingly bad we were. We had the same amount of offsides as we did shots on goal. Only one shot on target from that Dominic Szoboszlai one. It was absolutely abysmal. The players are mainly to blame for tonight. I've been very critical of Slot over the past several weeks, but tonight the players are mainly to blame because they were absolutely useless. They looked void of ideas, void of confidence. They were absolutely atrocious from start to finish, from the first whistle right the way through to the last. Like I say, Szoboszlai was the only one that probably tried to do something in the game but couldn't. The only thing that I would say I would blame Arne Slot for is the fact that at 2-0 down, I believe, he decides to take off Ekitike and move Wirtz into a false 9. Stop doing this. Stop doing this, Arnie, please. Wirtz can't play as the false 9. Wirtz can't play as the false 9. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You had Chiesa on the bench. You had Isak on the bench. I know he's only just come back from injury, but why are you taking Isak on the bench if he's not properly prepared to play some minutes? Why? Make that make sense to me. If he's not ready to play some minutes, why are you putting him on the bench? It doesn't make any sense. That's the only real thing that I can be critical of Arne Slot for. He got hard done by the referee. He messed up with the striker situation, but mainly tonight it falls on the players. That is the main bulk of tonight. It mainly falls on the players who were absolutely disgraceful from start to finish. Absolutely disgraceful. It was truly an awful performance. Truly an awful performance, truly an awful result. And it's now left us in a position where it's a top 4 battle. And, I said it a few weeks ago, it's going to be a top 4 battle. And I think this now pretty much confirms it. It's a top 4 battle. That's why I didn't want to get too ahead of myself. Great wins against Aston Villa and Real Madrid, don't get me wrong. I was so happy when we actually did get those wins. But I always said, like, I'm not going too overboard because I know that things can turn very quickly. And tonight, it turned. And it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Gakpo should have scored. I just want to throw this out there yet again. Put that man in a Netherlands shirt. That ball from Conor Bradley where he meets at the far post, that goes into the back of the net. Seriously, if we can get the Cody Gakpo from his time with the Netherlands national team rather than the Cody Gakpo at Liverpool, we'd be firing on all cylinders. Ekitike was virtually non-existent. Salah, he tried, but Nico O'Reilly had him in his back pocket. Wirtz grew into the game in the second half. Some almost moments from Florian Wirtz yet again, but again, nothing proper. Szoboszlai, like I say, was the only one trying. McAllister, poor. And Ibrahima Konate, man. Ibrahima Konate, this guy. He's awful. When he's good, he is exceptional. He could be a world beater on his day. But you can normally tell how Ibrahima Konate performance is going to go in the first 5 minutes. If he does something good in the first 5 minutes, you know you're in for a good game. If he does something wrong in the first 5 minutes, it's like it plays on his mind and he's replaying it over and over again. And that's where he messes up completely. And then it like spirals and it's like a domino effect of just mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And that's again what happened with Konate again tonight. It's shocking. It's shocking. If your head is in Madrid, tell the manager so he can get you out of this team and stop playing Joe Gomez. Do it. It's absolutely atrocious what I saw from Konate tonight. Mamardashvili, look, nothing he could have done about the second goal or the first goal or even the third goal, and he made a penalty save. I feel sorry for him a little bit, but it's just the way that sometimes you looks out, and tonight it just wasn't our day, it wasn't our look. It was absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, international break next. Great. Sit on this for 2 weeks. Can't wait. International break and then Forest afterwards. If we don't beat Forest, Jesus Christ. Anyway, as always, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know in the comments section what you guys thought about the game, about the performance, about the result of Manchester City beating and humiliating Liverpool by 3-0 tonight. Let me know what your guys thinking and feeling about all of that and much more down in the comments section. Other than that, as always, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been an instant match reaction to Liverpool's 3-0 loss to Manchester City at the Etihad tonight. Fingers crossed for better days to come. I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you all again very soon.